Hello everyone, myself Bharat Bhushan Singhal, Assistant Professor, Google Apps, Suresh Gyan Vihar, University Jaipur. We discuss fundamental of programming language. Today we discuss the number of lecture 10. In this lecture, we discuss constructor, type of constructor, constructor overloading and destructor. So now we move on. What is the constructor? Constructor is a special member function of a class whose task is to initialize the data members of an object of its class. Means when a object is created for a class, then that time a memory allocation and the initialization of data member is performed by the constructor. Because class is a concept, it is not anything, it is not allocated any memory when class is created. But when an object is created, then that object needs memory, and we want to initialize any variables of any of that class, then we use the constructor. So constructor is a special member function of that class which called by default by the compiler at the time of creation of new object. It is special because it has some name as its class name. The name of that constructor is same as that is the class. Like class name is demo, then the constructor member function name is also demo. It is called constructor because it constructs the initialized values of data members and build your programming object. It is very common for some part of an object to require initialization before it can be used. Suppose you are working on 10 and 100 of objects and the default value of a particular data member is needed to be 0. Then we initialize that data member as equal to 0. In C, we directly initialize any data member, but when we use the object oriented programming, then class is not permitted to initialize any data member when declaration. So constructor is helped to initialize that. Constructor is helped to initialize that particular data member initialization. So initialize all object manually will be very tedious job. Instead you can define a constructor function which initialize that data member to 0. Then all you have to do is declare object and constructor will initialize object automatically. It is an example of a constructor. We create a class, name is add, then we create two data members m and n, and next is public. It is the access specifier. We discuss it in next lecture. Next is add is the default constructor. I explain it in next slide. What is the default constructor? It is the default constructor, same name as the class name. After that, we initialize the m and n equal to 0 when we define that constructor in class. The scope resolution operator. 4 dots are so scope resolution operator. It helps to declare and define any function name outside of the class. There is no need to write any statement to invoke the constructor function. It is a normal member function is defined the initialization. We need to invoke that function for each and every object separately. A constructor that accepts no parameters is called the default constructor. Means what is the default constructor? when we any object is created and we don't initialize and when don't define and don't declare any constructor, then compiler is automatically call that constructor because that object needs the that object is need to allocate the memory in memory. So that compiler is automatically call a constructor name is default constructor, because if any memory is not allocated for that object, then that class and that object will not be work. So default constructor for a class A is called same like as in PPT. So characteristics of constructor: they must be declared in the public scope. They are invoked automatically when the objects are created. They do not have return types, not even void, and they cannot return values. They cannot be inherit. I explain it in next class. Inheritance features of object oriented class. So a derived class can be called the base class constructor. Like other C++ functions, constructor can have default arguments. Constructor cannot be virtual. Virtual function is also a feature of a object oriented programming which used for the dynamic binding. So I explain in with the features of object oriented programming. So constructor cannot be virtual. We cannot refer to their addresses. An object with a constructor or destructor cannot be used as a member of a union. They make implicit calls to the operator new and delete when memory allocation is required. The constructor function is responsible for creation of object, but in previous example we have not defined any constructor in class. So how come the objects are created for those classes? The answer is, if no constructor is defined in the class, in such situation the compiler implicitly provide a constructor which is called a default constructor. So there is an example of a constructor I explain in Dev C++. For that we create a new program. First save it, give the name con.cpp. CP is the extension of C++ program. Okay. Now as include iostream
Congratulations.
Okay, now we write using namespace. It is the namespace, standard namespace which is used only into the Dev C++. But you create this C++ program into Turbo C++, then don't write this namespace. Okay, now we create the class. Class A. Now braces. In this we create int m comma n. Now public, because the constructor always declare into the public section of the class. Okay, so we write now when we create the constructor, then we didn't give the any return type of that constructor like void. We didn't write a void any other data type, return data type in the front of declaration of the constructor. So we write name of constructor, that is the same name of the class. It is the A. Now this is the default constructor. Because it is not don't have any argument, so it is called default constructor. Now here I initialize the data members. So when any object is created, the default value of that m and end is 0, because every time a constructor is called and they initialize automatically m and n as the 0. So but you want to define this function outside of the class, so just write like that. This is the declaration. Now you give to the definition of this class, then write a and this. Now you type m is equal to n, sorry, m is equal to 0 and n is equal to 0 also. Now you create the main function. So int main, here you write, create the object of that class, sorry, name class A, and give any like A1. Now when you print the value of m and n, then you type, sorry, cout value of m, then print like if we want to initialize any data member and member function of object, then object name, then dot m. After that same, repeat the instructions, slash n value of n. After that print the value of n. So a1 dot n, semicolon. That's it. Now we compile this program. If any error there, then we resolve that. So here dot n is not placed in dev C++. So again one minute, wait. So we compile this. Here many errors are there. So when we close the class in C++, we write the semicolon. Now next error is am is private. So private members is not accessed in any other functions. So we cut this and we write this. Next is we didn't write the return function here. So we return this. Now we compile this. Now any error not there. Now execute. So the value of a1, m and n are initialized as 0 when this object is created here, because this default constructor is automatically called when any object is created. Now we move on to the PPT. So here this is the way of the constructor. Here we create the a constructor. Now we discuss types of constructor. There are mainly two types of constructor, but copy constructor and dynamic constructor also is special types of the constructor. But mainly when question is come into the exam, then describe the types of constructor, then we only describe the default constructor and the parameterized constructor. But ask that what is the copy constructor and what is the dynamic constructor, then we discuss these type of constructors because they are the special constructor. Now we start in previous slides we discussed default constructor very widely, but also we repeat that a constructor without any parameter is known as a non-argument constructor or simply default constructor. If no constructor is defined in a class, then compiler implicitly provides an empty body constructor which is called as a default constructor. So in previous slides we discussed a simple constructor which initializes the values. But in default constructor we didn't pass any type of arguments and parameters. So next is the parameterized constructor. What is the parameterized constructor? It is same as a default constructor, but when we declare a parameterized constructor, we set the parameters. So when we call any this parameterized constructor, when we create any object in main function in any class, then we passes any parameters, any argument with the creation of the object, then that type of parameterized constructor is called. This constructor when used when we pass any value at the object time creation. So sometimes it becomes necessary to initialize the various data elements of an object with different values when they are created. So we pass a parameter here. Float r is the circle float r is the parameterized constructor, and without any arguments, that is called the default constructor. So to create the parameterized constructor, we move on to the Dev C++. Here now we want to give some values to the m and n at the time of creation of new object. Then we just change something like that, int a comma int b. Same here, int a comma int b. Now we replace the zeros to a and b. So that is the parameterized constructor. Now how to call this parameterized constructor? So at the time of creation of object, we passes the same values, a and b values, that are the integer values of first. For the a we passes the 12 and for the b we passes the 15, any value, integer value. Now we check that 12 and 15 is passed to the m and n. So now we check that, execute this program. First we compile, if any error there, then we remove that. Now compile and run. So here 12 is assigned to the m and 15 is assigned to the n. So that is the parameterized constructor. Now we move on to the slides. Here two way of calling a constructor, implicit call or explicit call. So this type of calling is called the implicit call, and when we create the object, after that we call the that constructor as a function, then that is called the explicit call. multiple constructor in a class, and that is also called the constructor overloading. How it is performed in the program? So we move on to the Dev C++. Here we create the simple parameterized constructor. Now we also create a default constructor, capital A, and this and this. Now we define this. Here we assign m is equal to 0, then n is equal to 0. Now A1 is called the default parameterized constructor. Now we create the second object A2, and it is not any type of constructor. So automatically it is called the default constructor, which in this m is equal to 0 and n is equal to 0. Now we print these type of values. A2 and also here A2. Now I place the slash n also here. Now I also give. Now I check this. First we compile this. If any no error there, now I execute this. So you check that. First we call the A1. So here 12 and 15 are there. If we didn't call parameterized constructor, then m and n is equal to assign as a 0. At that time it is default constructor is false. So now we create a third constructor like that, capital A, and also we pass simple one type of parameter. You also define here. It is not compulsory, it is defined at the time of. So here m is equal to a and n is equal to 0. So here n is assigned as the 0 and m assigned as the a. So now we create the third variable with capital A, E3, and we pass only one value, that is the 17. Now this third constructor is called. Now I copy this. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है हमारा कंस्ट्रक्टर विद डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्यूमेंट्स. It is possible to define constructor with default arguments. Consider complex. I create a complex functions that have the float real and float image, and I create the default image equal to 0. So the default value of the argument image is to 0. Complex C1 5.0 assigned to the value 5.0 to the real variable and 0.20 to image variable. So when we call only single variable, then second variable is set on the default. If you can't default variable, set default variable, then you not define that variable. It is not compulsory into the constructor. So in second we call set both 2.0 and 3.0. That time that image variable is converted automatically into 3.0. So how it is performed? I perform into Dev C++. So move on to the Dev C++. So I create two variable and I give the equal to 0 here. Now here I call 12 1 minute and I remove this. Okay. Now you check what is the value when we call. 1 minute, I execute this. At A1 time the value is 12 and 15, and at the time of A2 the value is 00 because I called the default variable. But in third variable, what is the value of third variable? Now I copy that and I convert into A3. Now I check that the value will come. For the first A, 17 is assigned, and for the B, it is assigned 0. So M value is equal to 17 and N for the 0. So now check this, compile and run. Now you check that at third, the value of M is equal to 17 and the value of N is equal to 0. Okay, now we move on to the second. When we call for the 12 and 15, then it is called by the A and B, and it is assigned 12 and 15 for the M and N. Now we move on to the PPT. Next topic is destructor. What is the destructor? First, when an object is created, the memory is allocated into the primary memory for the variables data members. Now, at the time of destroy of object, will that memory is removed? Yes, that memory is removed by the destructor. Destructor is automatically called of the end of the program, means when object is deleted, then all memory which is assigned by the constructor in primary memory is automatically removed. So a destructor is used to destroy the object that have been created by the constructor. Like constructor, the destructor is a member function whose name is the same as the class name, but it proceeds by the tilde symbol. It has some conditions. A destructor never takes any argument or does it return any value. Like a destructor only permit only a message to print a message. After that, nothing is performed. Like nothing create a variable, no use the arguments, no use of the parameters, no use of the return type. Anything else is not performed in the destructor. You only print a message using the cout or printf or the system.out.println. Okay, it will be invoked implicitly by the compiler upon exit from the program or block or function as the case may be, to clean up storage that is no longer accessible. It is a good practice to declare destructor in a program since it releases memory space for further use. Whenever new is used to allocate memory in the constructor, and we use delete to free that memory. So that's it in the constructor and destructor. After that, we move on to the next topic. In previous slides, we discussed default constructor and parameterized constructor and destructor. Now some special constructor are present in C++. One of them is copy constructor. Now we explain how to create a copy constructor in Dev C++. So now we move on to the Dev C++. Here we have two constructors here. They are the constructor overloading. Now we create second constructor. In second constructor we pass the object of first constructor, class A5. Now here first we create a object and we give the some values here 10 and 20 in the
Hello?
starting.
Yes.
After that one
Lux. हाँ हाँ
create int a comma and b.
अरे ये तुम बीसीपी स्टूडेंट हो ना ऐसे ही
This
नहीं इन सबको बेसिक होता है
I create
जीजीपी
this.
उस पे लिखा होगा एचजीपी कितना बता रहा तुम्हारा
Now m is equal
6.41
to
और वो तुमको क्या चाहिए
a5 dot m and
स्मार्ट
n is equal
पीछे
to
लिखा।
a5 dot m.
लास्ट वाली
In this constructor, we create a temporary object of class A.
को तुम मंडे को फोन करना
Then here it is the current object variable,
बात कर लेंगे,
and
मुझे
it is
बात
the class object that is passed into the that object
क्या?
variable. So that object value is assigned to present class object. So now here first we call 12 comma 15 in this object. In this object, first this constructor is called. In that, m and n value are decided by this constructor. Now, in this here, I call the object of class. So we pass a1 here. Now we print the value of a1 and a2. I remove this A3. Now first we check this is compiled or not. So I pass in the address of. Okay, compile. Now run this. Now you check. In first object we pass the values of m and n, 12 and 16, which is assigned here. Now in second object we pass the object reference of a1. Here a1 reference is transferred to a5, and a5 m value, which is the a1 value is 12, is assigned to the a2 m, and second value is n, which is 16, is assigned to the a2 n. Now we check that if we change the value of here, now this value of a2 is automatically changed by the compiler. Now check that. So value is automatically changed. So a object is passed as a parameter in this constructor. So this type of constructor is called the copy constructor. Now we move on to the next topic, that is the C++ access specifier. What is the access specifier? Access specifier define how the element of a class can be accessed. Means it is set the scope of any data member and member function of a class. Means if we create this type of access specifier, then that type of data member and member function is accessed in that type of functions. So access specifier are used for the security purpose in C++. So there are three types of access specifier there. First is the public, second is the private, and third is the protected. In public, members are accessible from outside of the class in all the places like other classes when we use the inheritance and many other functions and all over of the outside of the folder, outside of the package, the public members are accessed. But one bridge are needed to one class to another class. If any connection are there, then they are able to access that data member and member function. Second is private. Private is the private property of that class, means only that type that data members and member functions are accessed only by that class object. Other class and other functions are not access that private members. And protected, it is the exist between the public and private, means some functions and some classes are access of that data members, but all of the classes and data members are not access that type of protected members. So the limitations are provided with the protected. Mainly when we create the project with the team, then protected members are used, because only team members are access that type of data members, but all not access that type of data members. But we can't access the private members, so we use the protected members. Now these are the explanation of the public and private members. In public members, when we assign the public and colon, then automatically the public section is start. Then we write the private and colon, then private section is start. You write many times of public and many times of private in one class, then you want to create for the function and data members. Then we create the int x as public, then it is allowed outside of the class, but integer y is created as a private, then it is not accessed in the outside of the class. By default, then if you don't write any type of data access member in the class, then by default it is converted into the private in C++. All members of a class are private if you don't specify an access specifier. Like in this example, we didn't write any type of access specifier, then here x and y are also by default private attributes of class. Now MCQs. First question is, what is the role of constructor in classes? To modify the data whenever required, to destroy an object, to initialize the data members of an object when it is created, and last is to call private functions from the outer world. So answer is to initialize the data member of an object when it is created. Second is it is allocate the memory for the object. Second is, by constructor are efficient instead of a function in initialize defined by the user to initialize the data member of an object. First answer is because user may forget to call initialize using that object, leading segmentation fault. Second, because user may call initialize more than once, which leads to overwriting value. Third, because user may forget to define initialize functions. And last is all of the mentions. So answer is D. What happens if a user forgot to define a constructor inside a class? So first is error occur, second is segmentation fault, third is objects are not created properly, and last is compiler provides a default constructor to avoid faults and error. So default constructor automatically called when any constructor is not created in class to create the object. So answer is D. The next is how many parameters does a default constructor require? So any parameter are not passed into the default constructor, so the value is 0. Your answer is C. Next is how constructor are different from other member function of the class. First is A, constructor has the same name as the class itself. B, constructor do not return anything. C, constructor are automatically called when an object is created, and last is all of the mentions. So answer is all three answer are matched, so all of the mentions. Next is how many types of constructor are there in C++? So there are three types of constructor: copy constructor, default constructor, and the parameterized constructor. Third is next is what is the role of destructor in classes? To modify the data whenever required, to destroy an object when the lifetime of an object ends, to initialize the data members of an object when it is created, to call private function from the outer world. Answer is V. To destroy an object when the lifetime of an object ends. Next is what is the syntax of defining a destructor of class A? So for the destructor we use the tilde symbol. So answer is B. When destructor are called, when a program ends, when a function ends, when a delete operators is used, all of the mentioned. So answer is D. How many types of access specifier are provided in object-oriented programming in C++? There are three: public, private, and protected. Which among the following can be used together in a single class? Only private, private and protected together, private and public together, all of the three together. So only private members are used for only a single class. Which among the following can restrict class members to get inherit? Private, protected, public, all three. That are the answer is A. Which access specifier is used when no access specifier is used with a member of class? Private, default, protected, public. That is the default. Which specifier allow a programmer to make the private members which can be inherited? Private, default, protected, protected and default. Answer is C, protected. So thank you very much to attend this lecture. Now we end this lecture. Have a nice day.